Well, we're back again with another stimulus check update for you. And tonight we're talking about good news. The Senate has a phase 4 stimulus bill, and with a second stimulus check on the way. This is our second stimulus check update, stimulus package update for July 27th, 2020. If you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button below the video. Give this video a like and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this also as well. Make sure that you watch this video all the way through, all the way to the end. That way you don't miss out on a special bonus I have in store for you. Now, Republicans and Democrats, they both want another round of stimulus checks. We know this, okay? But they disagree on a few things. Now, the Republicans, they unveiled the HEALS Act today, while Democrats are still backing the HEROES Act that was passed by the House in May. Now, the Democrats want a second round of stimulus checks for $1,200 to individuals, and Republicans agreed today as they unveiled their opening offer for another relief package. But stimulus checks 2.0, they mean two different things under the appropriately $1 trillion Republican bill and the Democrats' $3 trillion bill, underscoring the divides on what each party thinks the country needs and what it supposedly can afford to pay, as the C-word sickness pandemic is continuing. Now, this time around, Republicans are proposing the same check amounts and using the same income eligibility rules as the CARES Act, reported by Market Watch. They also want to broaden who counts as a dependent, resulting in a $500 payout. This round, the checks will provide even more support for families who care for vulnerable adult dependents, according to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and Kentucky Republicans said today on the Senate floor. Democrats also want to apply the same income ranges as before, but have called for an even more generous $1,200 payout for dependents. The GOP proposal, however, that was released today, also called for slimmer 70% wage replacement and supplemental unemployment benefits and legal liability shields, among other things. The legislation is called the HEALS Act, and that stands for Health, Economic Assistance, Liability Protection, and Schools Act. The Democrats are rallying behind the HEROES Act still, which passed the Democrat House of Representatives in May, and it calls for direct checks and also a continuation of $600 supplemental unemployment benefits all the way through the next January of 2021. The initial $2.2 trillion stimulus bill in March, it earmarked $290 billion for direct checks, sending $1,200 checks to adults, $500 to households for each independent under age 17. A person making under $75,000 received the full $1,200 economic impact payment under the CARES Act, while a married couple filing jointly that made $150,000 or less received $2,400. Now, payment amounts gradually declined and expired for individuals with adjusted gross income above $99,000 and couples making above $198,000. The same income ceilings apply in both the Republican and Democrat bills. The IRS has distributed about 160 million payments that total $270 billion approximately. The agency's commissioner, Charles Reddick, said last month. The two plans pay different amounts for dependents. That's how they differ. The newly unveiled Republican plan, the HEALS Act, it pays $500 for dependents of any age, according to Senator Chuck Grassley's office. The broadened dependent definition brings in some people we did not intend to leave out last time, but we did, according to Grassley, a Republican from Iowa, said on Monday, today. So regardless of age, some of these dependents will now be helped. So this is how the HEALS Act also differs from the CARES Act, and the HEROES Act also as well. Now, the HEROES Act, passed in May by the Democratic-controlled House, seeks a $1,200 payment per dependent. Direct checks under the bill would pay for a maximum of 3 dependents. That means a household could receive up to $6,000, a married couple $2,400, plus 3 dependents equals $3,600. Now, Democrats and Republicans, they're both expanding the definition of dependent, but proposing to pay different amounts. So like the HEALS Act, the HEROES Act widens the scope of who counts as a dependent. A full-time student up to age 24 counts as a dependent under the bill, as does an adult dependent. The average stimulus check size was $1,729 under the CARES Act and could be $2,170 under the HEROES Act, according to projections from Kyle Parmalu, a resident fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, which is a right-leaning think tank. He didn't have immediate projections on the HEALS Act, but predicted it would not bump up the average stimulus check amount all that much. In both the Republican and Democrat bills, the IRS would look at 2019 income tax returns to determine income eligibility, or 2018 returns if 2019 returns are not available. Now, Parmalu said, "To me, it makes a lot of sense to go with a framework there that already exists." Now, the HEROES Act forbids debt collectors from garnishing the payment and blocks the IRS from offsetting a stimulus check to pay down past due child support. The HEALS Act also protects stimulus checks from garnishment as well, but does not block or offsets for owed child support. So someone who owes child support can have their stimulus check taken under the HEALS Act, but not under the HEROES Act. The HEALS Act, it contains specific language stating that anyone who died before January 2020 won't be getting a stimulus check, nor will anybody who was in prison at the time the IRS processes payment. During the first payment round, the government sent 1.1 million stimulus checks to dead people, totaling more than $1 billion, according to one watchdog report. So when could the next round of stimulus checks arrive? The second round of economic impact payments could start rolling out in August if lawmakers quickly pass another relief package, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said on Saturday. The HEALS Act, at least when it comes to stimulus checks, is about as close as you can get to an agreement, and shows that the one area of bipartisan support is another round of checks to support the economy. And this was a statement from Ed Mills, a Washington policy analyst at Raymond James. The GOP's expanded definition of a dependent could make stimulus checks alone cost the government $300 billion, he said. Now, Ed Mills said to have $1,200 being proposed by Senate Republicans, matching the $1,200 given out under the CARES Act, is a significant increase over what Mitch McConnell was speaking about as recently as a week ago. So basically, what Mitch McConnell was speaking about is giving the stimulus check only to people who earn under $40,000 a year. But that proposal received a lot of backlash, not only from Republicans, but also from Democrats also as well. And I don't believe that's even going to pass. Now, Mitch McConnell was speaking about as recently as a week ago. He said to have $1,200 being proposed by Senate Republicans, matching the $1,200 given out under the CARES Act, is a significant increase over what Mitch McConnell was speaking about as recently as a week ago, he said. Now, Mills said lawmakers could reach a deal by the first week of August, but consumers shouldn't be banking on $1,200. There could be a scenario in which stimulus checks amounts decrease and unemployment payments increase, he said. Mills said that I think is not yet set in stone. So basically, people like Mill said here in this article from Market Watch, it's pretty much not set in stone yet. Okay, nothing is set in stone yet. But we do know that the Senate now has an official bill. Okay, now all of this talk that was going back and forth between from Republicans, the White House, the White House administration, the White House economists, President Trump, Larry Kudlow, Stephen Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary, and prominent Republican senators in the Senate, Mitch McConnell. Now we have an official bill, people, that has been announced to the Senate today by Mitch McConnell. Okay. So being that Mitch McConnell is the leader of the Senate, this is the Senate's official bill, and it's called the HEALS Act. And basically, the HEALS Act, it is going to have $105 billion for the opening of schools, to help schools reopen safely. And it's also going to have a $1,200 stimulus check, according to the proposal. It's going to have a $200 a week payment in unemployment insurance. That's the extra unemployment boost of $200 extra. And it should equal 70% of a person's wages before they lost their job. It's also going to include liability insurance protection also as well for businesses. So that way they don't get sued if someone catches the C word sickness in their business, namely employees or customers also. So this is what it entails. And it also entails $16 billion for testing, tracing, and diagnostics. So that way they can work on controlling the C word pandemic sickness. So people, that's what all I got for you for today. But that's our good news. At least we know now the Senate has something official, a bill. Okay, so now it's just left up to the Senate to complete the bill by voting on the bill in the Senate, and also negotiating with Democrats so that the House of Representatives could also work on this bill to get it passed up to President Trump's desk. But I know I can tell you guys right now, the Democrats are really not happy. I'm referring to the Democrats in the House of Representatives. They are not happy about this $200 unemployment boost. And they really don't like it because they wanted to keep the $600 unemployment insurance boost extended all the way to January of next year, 2021. So hopefully this does not cause any serious disagreement when this bill reaches the House of Representatives. And what I mean by serious, to the point where the Democrats just deny the bill, just like the Republicans in the Senate said that the HEROES Act was dead on arrival. Hopefully the Democrats in the House of Representatives do not say that the HEALS Act is dead on arrival, because what's going to happen next, folks? If it does become dead on arrival in the House of Representatives, what happens next is we have to wait for the House of Representatives to create another bill that would have to be sent back over to the Senate again. So we don't want them to keep playing these games, with our lives, people. We don't want them to keep playing with our money here. This is our money. We earned it. We paid taxes on it, right? We worked hard all these years. And it was not our fault that the C word sickness came out, okay? Maybe it came from another country. Maybe it didn't. I'm not going to argue that debate. But the main point I'm trying to make it here is this is not our fault, okay? And many of us had to stay home, and many businesses had to shut down, and many people could not go to work. So therefore, if the government forced people to shut down and stay home and not work, then the government, it is their responsibility to make sure that the people are well taken care of financially, okay, and healthy, and make sure they are safe. That's another job of the government, to make sure that we are all safe in America. So that's all I got for you. And make sure that you join our Facebook group, so that way you can't, you can never get enough of stimulus check updates, because we got plenty extra stimulus check updates for you and information in our Facebook group. Just follow the link down in the description. Hit the down arrow on the left side of the screen, on your right side of the screen, so that way you can get to the description. And it's free to join our group, so definitely you want to join the group as soon as possible. And while you're down in the description, check out other links we have there for free money and other helpful resources too also as well. Make sure you like the video, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about the Senate's new bill, the HEALS Act. And I guess from all of us here at the How to Get an 800 Credit Score family, stay safe, be blessed, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now. See you tomorrow. My name is Lyndon Baptiste, and on this channel we talk about ways to increase your credit score, build credit, and get approved for the lowest payments on mortgages and lines of credit, travel the world for free, earn extra money with cash back. And if that interests you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll never miss a single video as we make them.